We're streaming on YouTube.
This is going to go viral.
So exciting, the Finance Committee.
I know. People live for this.
I know I do. I can't see anyone at the actual township building because the camera is sort of pointed down, I guess. Oh, there you go. Good morning. Uh-oh, now we can't hear them.
Their mics might be off.
Yeah, I think their mics are off. Okay, gentlemen,
Good.
I think we're ready to go.
I can't hear Ed at all.
Lisa, did we lose you?
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, there she is.
Apple here. Larry Fisher is that. What are we?
Now we can't hear them.
There we go. I'm sorry. I apologize. Mic on now.
Yeah, we missed the Pledge of Allegiance. Please forgive
Okay.
us.
I goofed up. I'm on summertime hours. Next order of business is to consider the agenda for this meeting. Is there any folks that need to make a comment regarding any of the items on the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Agenda approved. Next order is minutes. We obviously had no meeting in June. We need to consider approving the minutes from the May 25th, 2024 meeting.
May 25, 2024 meeting, so moved.
I
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? None. Motion passes. Reports, Steve,
Who's the treasurer?
Yeah, so,
he's de facto. No, sorry.
oh,
I just
okay.
asked who the treasurer was. It says treasurer's report.
That's me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I get to,
Chief Cook and Bottle
it's
Washer.
like whatever I can, whatever hat I can wear today, I'm wearing them all, so.
Thank you, Steve.
Which means you're all in trouble.
Yeah, right. The old Groucho Marx.
So the good news is our tax collection is going very well. We of the 6.8 million that we anticipated collecting at face, we've collected almost 6.6 so far, which is about on target where we normally are for this time of the year, just a little behind, but it's good. The place that I would say that we are probably the most behind is in our interim taxes, and I think that has to do with a timing from the county. I'm not overly concerned about that because I know there's a lot of things that are coming online that should take care of the interim taxes between now and the end of the year. The The delinquent taxes are also behind by about 40,000. We only budgeted 50, and we've only collected about 8,000 so far. What I know about the county on that is also they tend to have a big push in September. So I'm not panicking yet, and it's not going to make or break our budget, but it's enough that I'm a little bit concerned about it, just watching it. So the two areas that I continue to be concerned, I think I brought your attention to the last time we met, were the real estate transfer tax. That's still behind, and so is the local service tax. I have been working with Keystone, who is our tax collector for local service tax. They anticipate, based on what they see, that we should be within about 40 to 50,000 of what we budgeted. In regard, we may be down a little bit, but they're saying, based on what they're seeing and what the collection should be, and they're saying that it looks like some of the payers are a little bit behind. And so, but if we get, they're still thinking our number is relatively close. So that's my point on that one. Real estate tax transfer, I'm again, because the county's behind on the other things, I'm assuming the county is behind on that. Everything else is actually pretty close to what we would expect.
Why are they behind?
I don't know. I need to reach out and find out whether it's something in a communication to us, whether they're just truly behind. I don't know where the issue is, and I need to find out. So,
Steve, doubling back on the LST, I'm just thinking with folks working hybrid where their week is split, maybe they're in the office 2 days here in AmeriHealth and they're working from home 3 days and they live in Westchester.
yep.
The mechanics of that, do you know how that works? How Keystone?
Well, my
is treating that?
understanding is if a person shows up to the office even 1 day a week, they should be collecting LST for the whole week, because it's based on, I mean, like if you had a part-time job and you just showed up 1 day a week, you would pay LST tax for being at that. And they're saying the same principle applies to this. The question that I've had is if Westchester has an LST tax, you know, are you paying in both locations? And my answer would be you can't. And,
Right.
you know, you only have to pay in one
Yes,
location.
who wins and who loses?
Who wins and who loses.
Yeah.
I think the way my understanding of it is that the community that you are scheduled to work in, which is the assumption of where the office
Right.
location is the one that gets the tax, is how I've understood it. They're confirming that for me. They've been doing some research on it and they haven't gotten back to me on that specific spot. But their legal team is looking into that to make sure that my assumption is correct based on what I've been told by some different folks. And also, when I say that, these are folks from the state and folks from some other location. I mean, this isn't just me talking to another manager who's making this up kind of thing. It's,
Right.
you know, hopefully people that have some authority in it. But I've learned to say that just because somebody says it doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm looking at Lisa. Lisa, have you guys encountered this?
We do. I don't work with payroll as much, but I could definitely ask one of my partners that handles more. But I agree with everything Steve said so far. And I think a lot of employers were trying to withhold and remit to the primary jurisdiction, as Steve mentioned. But I'll see if I can get any more info from my partner too, and let you know.
Clear as mud. Yep. Thank you.
so it's one of those things that I don't think we're the only ones that are kind of dealing with
Right.
this, you know? So I think it's, you know, a challenge for probably a lot of municipalities that I've talked to. So the other thing that I would bring your attention to is that we are, you know, basically halfway through the year. We do have So I think you all know and I guess I'm kind of covering a little bit down about the finance director. You all know the finance director left. We've brought in a third party who's helping us. They're still kind of getting up to speed on our system. They haven't really quite figured out how our system works yet. And hopefully once I get them up on our system, we can get caught up on a few things. I'm giving you numbers that aren't reconciled yet. So hopefully that'll also help. And then finally, what I would say is we are 6 months through the year. We've collected roughly about 7.5 million, a little over 7.64 million of the 11.1 million, which is typical because we get heavy real estate tax. And so, and if you think about what I told you in regards that we've collected 6.5 in real estate tax, you can tell where most of our revenue has come so far this year. It's in real estate tax. The other thing that I would tell you is that our expenses currently are tracking a little bit behind.
When you mean behind, you mean lower than budget?
Lower than budget.
Okay.
And I would expect that in that I had 5 positions empty. And I've filled 3 of the 5 here recently. The 2 started at the middle of June, 1 started at the end. And so those are coming in, and those will start, all the expenses that come with those positions will happen.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of people. 5 people left.
Well,
Is that a
so,
lot or?
well, yes and no. When you have 5 people out of the organization, that's only about 45
Right.
people. Obviously, that's a huge percentage.
Right.
And 2 of the people that left, I know went on to do things that they specifically wanted to do in regards, one of the people was here, really liked working here. When she left, she told me it was not us. She just wanted to be back in the school system. Another person that left was a person who was working in the police department. I was a little surprised he came to work for us. He was a good guy. He worked hard while he was here, but his skill level was not, we were using him as an administrative position, and his training was as a police officer. It didn't surprise me that he went back and did something different. So those 2 I kind of explained. I think we've talked about the finance director leaving, so we kind of know what that situation with her was. The other 2 positions, the one has been vacant a little longer. I want to say he left maybe during the summer of last year, and we were still working on what that position was going to look like. I do think, he left to go do more hands-on kind of work. That's what he decided he wanted to do. His was probably a little bit more of a surprise for me, and I think there was probably some issues with what he felt like he was doing in the township. And then the other position, I think I've covered all 5. Have I covered all 5? Anyway, I've covered, and then, so we replaced him. We talked about that one. I'm drawing you. Yeah, the 5th one was a police officer. We knew he was retiring. And so he retired in middle of June. We had the board approve the higher contingent. My guess is by the end of July, we'll have a new officer. And then the new position that we haven't filled yet, which we hope to fill here shortly, was for the municipal authority. And I just got direction from the municipal authority this week, which I'll talk about when we talk about the finance. Any other questions?
Yeah, Steve, the usual question I ask is in terms of new development projects in the township, nothing percolating, nothing new.
Well, I won't say there's nothing new. I will say what's new is relatively small. I know of, I know of 5 potential projects in the town. Only one of them will be of any substantive size. And there's a lot of things that have to be done before that happens. So, I mean, like, they want to do something that we no longer allow in that district. So I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know that that will go through. We have a couple projects that I think are going to come in, but they're, you know, like, they're one-off
Yeah.
kind of projects right now. Like if you're thinking of like Ellis Preserve or something like that, we don't have anything.
Well,
like that.
always, when I ride past it every day, Clyde Place and all that, I'm always thinking like, what's gonna happen there?
Are you talking about the corner of two
Yeah,
fifty-two?
yeah, 252 Clyde Place and
Yeah.
the Pike, yeah.
Yeah, so I suspect you're gonna see a little bit of movement there, but I don't suspect you're gonna see anything new there right away. I think, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw some action at the site, but I don't think anything's being constructed. There's no
There's
development,
no whisper of a plan at this point.
nothing that's a development.
Any other questions? Lisa, good?
Good, thanks.
Next on the old business, I got Alex and I have Larry from our last meeting, offering to provide some insight. Maybe that you guys can speak to, well, obviously Larry's not here. Maybe Alex can speak to, do you have kind of like a timeline horizon of when something out?
Don't, I don't. I haven't gotten past one sentence. But I don't know what the thing virtual reality is.
Well-
I live in an alternate reality.
Well, you're a lawyer.
Semantics, semantics.
He's a lawyer, so he's gonna have definition of terms right at the beginning, and then he's gonna go into his story.
Well, the first one should, it just requires gathering a lot of data.
Yeah.
I'll bombard you, Steve. I didn't this summer. And I just need all the data on, how many homes there are in Listener, how much revenue we got from them.
And so you wanna do a deep dive as compared to just a flyby.
Well, this would be the flyby. I mean, I have to at least have the numbers to say, there was. Everybody thinks that when there's new construction that we're washing money.
Right.
But, there's, I don't know how many homes that we generate revenue off of in Listener, but let's say, I don't know, 500. So
It's 449 homes. I'll start pulling those numbers for
So-
you.
just 449 homes generate how many dollars of tax?
Yeah.
For the township, forget the school district. And
Yeah.
then how many, do you know approximately how the population increased because of that?
Well, I can speak to what the population has done over, I mean, we know what the average home in Newtown Township has. I mean, like, for me to say that it went up 1,000 residents is probably safe. But if I come back and, I mean, like, to specifically tie it to that, I don't think I have anything that does it.
Dan, did we hire a new officer?
We've hired 4 new officers because of the development we've had, because in order to, so, one of the things that everybody says is, well, just hire a new officer to cover, but because we have 4 shifts, we have to hire 4 officers to have a officer
For each one.
for added at a time. Like, it's not as simple as just saying, oh, I go out and I hire a new officer.
Yeah.
Because we're a shift work, because we're 24 hours a day and they rotate, the way the shifts rotate, it's you hire 4. And so we have done that.
And George's crew, did they clean in there or is it private?
It's private, it does, but we've added, we're gonna be taking on trail maintenance. I mean, there's things that have definitely increased George's team's work. So, it's just part of part of the process. But you look at just the additional wear and tear within the community. You know, George is spending a lot more time on our parks. He's spending a lot more time, you know, as the community grows, there's just
the
additional work
usage
that has to
grows,
be done.
yeah.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, look, I mean, this is not,
Not a bad.
and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but their expenses, I think what you're looking for is how the expenses correlate to what's going.
That's
Yes,
all.
yes.
Yeah, the tone of this wasn't gonna be it's good or bad for the community. 'Cause
Right.
I don't,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people on both sides of that argument.
Yeah.
But it was just simply to address this constant, thing of people saying, the township, Newtown Square is lucky because it has all this new construction, so they're awash in money. I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
But.
The
all right,
fact that
anyway.
we have a surplus doesn't, you know.
But I can work through that. Look, I'll help get you some numbers.
Yeah.
I'll get you some expenses that we've tied to it and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and then I'll generalize them,
Yeah.
because, I don't wanna go down to the penny or anything.
No,
I just
no,
want
no.
people
Yeah.
to think that.
No, you'll put them to sleep. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, but 500 or almost 500 new homes brings, a lot more people, a lot more wear and tear in the community. A police officer is a necessary expense, but it's
Public
an
Works.
expensive one, right?
Yeah.
When
Right.
you consider
Benefits.
what the total cost of a police officer.
I budget about $125,000 to $150,000 every time we hire a new police officer.
Yeah, and so times 4.
Yeah.
You've added more than $500,000 to the budget of a
Yeah.
township that only has 12 million to
Right.
begin with,
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the types of numbers I think that would be really helpful for people to understand.
Yeah, I don't think people understand those kind of things, but I will get you.
I
the
never
kind of
thought
numbers.
about that, but you don't hire one, you hire 4.
Yeah,
That's a real interesting.
I mean, yeah, because everybody said, oh, so you had to hire a new officer. Yes.
Right.
But what, how many people do we have in the township roughly?
15,000.
So we increased the township population by,
25%.
no,
No.
I'm talking, just dealing with listener, probably if it's 1,000 people,
Oh, yeah.
then it would be less than 10%,
Of the total.
6.6%.
Yeah,
I got
We've raised
Yeah.
the population, which, requires all these extra services, but it's not bringing that many dollars to the town. That'll be the interesting number.
Yes, that is the answer.
We've increased the population by 6%, but how much have we increased the revenue collection?
Right.
I bet
Yeah.
it doesn't track. Oh, we'll
Yeah,
see.
but-
We'll
and I
see
think-
the number.
I think you can't just focus on Lissitor. You have to focus on all the apartment homes.
Yeah, Alice.
And in Ellis, you have to focus on alcohol serving establishments in hotels and the actual and a restaurant that also require more police vigilance. The growth that we've seen over the past 10 years, by just focusing on Lissitor, you're missing the growth that we've experienced over the last 10 years, which is significantly more than that. Through all those, just everything from Whitehorse to Route 3 is spectacular growth in the township.
Then, so in view of that, then I might start it off by talking about the overall growth in the township and just what you mentioned, John, but then I just want to give as an example,
Yeah.
Lissitor, it doesn't have to, it could be Ellis Preserve, but I just want to give an example of how, when you have a development, it's not like the township suddenly has this huge windfall.
Well, it doesn't,
to play with.
it doesn't all
Yeah.
drop to the bottom line, is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all these embedded costs that increase.
So, and then you can extrapolate that to the growth of the township as a whole, and I can mention that too. All right, well, this is
Now,
helpful. This
I
got me
think I know
motivated.
the kind of data that you're looking for. I will do my best to start working on pulling that data over the next couple of weeks. Might be a month, but just I'll
Or
start.
you get a
pulling.
new finance director.
Huh?
Get a new finance director.
That will help.
So I shouldn't be looking for it by close of business?
Um,
He's taking off one of those hats.
Yeah, probably not today,
All right, thank
but
you.
we'll work on it. We'll try to get it.
We're up to search for a finance director.
Well, let me just stop for a second before I get to that. I'm thinking, Steve, once the numbers, the 2023 numbers are finalized and signed off by the Board of Supervisors, I'm assuming that hasn't happened yet.
That has not happened.
Okay, so once that happens, then I'm thinking Larry can do a quick
Yep.
highlight of that. And then the last one that was percolating in my mind was, I know Ed, and I don't have a volunteer for this one yet, is I was thinking about a 5-year look back, current 2023, and then 4 previous years, to kind of frame for people what's happening. What the good news in terms of the real estate tax is the millage rate, it hasn't grown exponentially. It's still relatively speaking under control. We're seeing additional real estate tax coming in as a result of new properties coming online. But conversely, I'm presuming we're going to see the trend of the permits and the transfer taxes sliding off. So people will see and can envision
Okay.
where this is going. I don't have a volunteer for that one yet. I'll strong arm somebody, but that's what I'm thinking about. So for Scott and for Lisa, they may want to think about that.
What are you thinking where it's going?
To do a quick highlight in the newsletter, the township newsletter, just showing what those trends are. It may not necessarily even have any commentary. It may be just, hey, did you know this type of thing? Couple of footnotes, boom.
Oh, I see.
That's all I'm getting at, is to put people kind of aware that if it's more than 20 seconds, you may lose many readers. So you can see something in a graph, they may look at it, maybe a pretty graph, they may actually read it and may actually register.
And spur other questions.
Correct. Correct.
That sounds like something up my alley.
I didn't put your name on it.
I was hoping you'd say it.
Yes,
I didn't
we'll talk
set you
about
up.
the timing.
She said
It's
she's
good,
bored.
I know.
Oh, you got
I
nothing to do? Oh, I get it.
She's bored with nothing to do.
You know, it's bad when this type of thing actually interests you, so yes, I'd be good for that.
Thank you, Lisa.
You got it. We'll just talk about timing, so I can.
No,
get
no,
it.
no, this is later. This is later,
Okay.
whether or not it even happens in 2024 or whatever. We get through the first 2 and they may say, enough, no more of that stuff.
Got it.
Really?
Yeah.
I really do, because I mean, if you look at the progression of the growth,
Coupled with what he's gonna
has
do.
it really meant to this township?
Correct. What he's gonna do, and then you
Yeah.
follow it
Yeah.
later with this.
I'm interested.
Oh, it could be a duet.
A
It could be-
duet.
That would
You and
be,
me, Lisa.
that would be great. All right, I like that.
All right,
Sounds-
enough of jokes.
All right.
All right, Steve, search for the new finance director.
Okay, so I think I shared with you that I had put on hold the hiring of this person for the municipal authority a little bit earlier. That's because the municipal authority approached me about they're serving them differently, and they were potentially going to go outside. So if they did that, I would hire a different person to do finances for us than if I have somebody who's doing theirs and ours. The pay would be different, let's just put it that way, to do that. Monday night, they made the decision that they're going to go back to what we originally had planned. And so I'm moving forward in that direction. So I'm going to go back out again. I think that I don't know how much I shared. We did have some candidates. We had 4 candidates that applied, or we had 7 candidates that applied. We had 4 that we interviewed. Of the 4 we interviewed, we felt that none of them was exact match of what we were looking for. So we're going to go back out and see if we can throw a wider net and see if we can get more of what we're looking for. So we're going to go do that.
So
and
is the
see-
municipal authority gonna be with you guys?
Yes, so we're going to continue like we've been doing that for the last 10 years. We've been managing all the finances for the municipal authority, plus doing all the township, plus we do the library. There's a lot that's involved. And so I just, it's a very different type of position if we're not going to do all those things.
Specialized.
Yeah, the municipal finances, you have to understand fund accounting, because we're on accrual basis, you have to understand accruals. And my challenge is that I had people, when we interviewed, I had people that understand pieces of it. They just didn't understand, like, some of them didn't know fund accounting, some of them didn't know government kind of stuff. Some of them, knew it, but didn't know accruals, and we do a lot of accruals. And so it's those kind of things. And so I really want to make sure we get the right person in here. I don't want to, I think the person that we brought in before thought that she would learn this pretty quickly and she would be up to speed. It was not coming quick. So it took us longer,
Right.
I don't want to be back in that position a year from now. I want to make sure we get the right hire. So anyway, we're starting basically over at this point, but we're going to hit it hard and work on it.
Thank you, Steve. New business, this circling around, I know the ARPA money has to be spent by, my recollection is December 31, 2024. So I'm already thinking,
Yeah, so
what
ARPA
about
money has,
January 1?
yeah, so ARPA has to be committed by
Oh.
December 31st,
Not necessarily
2024,
spent.
not necessarily spent.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a contract to do something, you don't have to necessarily have spent it. As long as it's then spent by, I think, the end of December of
Got it.
2025. So the township focused its money on stormwater because stormwater was a big issue. I think we've already spent about 200,000. We just got a project bid back. Actually, it came in way better than we thought. We were expecting another couple $100,000. I think it came in about 150, 175. And we thought that number was probably going to be close to double that. So that was good. We have another project that we're working on right now that's also gone out to bid. We're hopefully get bids back here within the next couple of weeks, and they're ready to go out to bid on a project that will kind of then use up the final dollars. So we're getting pretty close where we need.
Perfect. Anybody from our board have any other questions on this?
I just have a comment. It's nice to see that go in the other direction. Again, the costs are coming in lower, or the bids. That's
Yeah.
good. Good
It's
news.
crazy because one thing comes in lower, another thing comes in higher. So stormwater is one of those that we were really getting high bids on. And it is nice to start seeing some of that come down a little bit. I think that almost by waiting a little bit to actually do some of these projects, as we're kind of getting near the end, as that money.
Do you think the contractors?
That money is
Yeah.
starting to dry up, the contractors are getting.
Yeah,
hungry, so
realizing,
they're getting.
the gravy train's about ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Funny
actually,
how that works.
yeah, so I think that's helping. And actually some of the supplies are coming just down, some of the things that we're having to buy on stormwater projects are actually less than what they were 2 years ago. So
Do you talk to I'm sure you do, other township managers and ask, what do they see in that area, a township?
I haven't specifically talked about what they're seeing on these trends. I have talked to some of the other ones regarding, just the general concept of where we are. And some things, like I said, are coming down, and, other things are, we bid on something else that I thought was going to be like an easy, it's going to be about $180,000, ended up being 310. So,
Well, can I ask you what that was?
yeah, it's the St. Albans Circle, redoing that. You were taking out the asphalt that's where that green has been painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're creating that into a, like a green area, green space, coming in, putting in curbing, making it, actually do what was kind of painted to look like.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of crazy that, like that project, I was kind of thinking, yeah, that if anything was going to come in lower, I was thinking that we did
Is that paving materials, I would assume,
excuse me,
paving material? Is that-
paving material kind of goes up and down based on the fuel prices. I mean, it's highly tied to what petroleum is doing.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not terrible. It's coming in
So that
kind of
was-
middle. We didn't go out for a paving bid this year. We bought some material because we've done some patchwork that our team has done. They're really getting good at it. If they keep getting that good at it, we might find that we use them to do some of their own work, our own
You
paving.
should sell their service, right?
Well, not sell their service, but I may have them do more of our roads,
Yeah.
particularly
Yeah,
of our
small stuff, yeah.
our small stuff.
Yeah.
But we're looking at doing another project next year. What we're finding is two things. One is it's important to bid. It's important to go out for a project that's large enough that you get the bigger companies who
Yeah,
do it.
interested.
And if you get the bigger companies that do it and it's a big enough project, and even if we share it across multiple municipalities, which we're looking at doing, you tend to get a better price. And so when a big company does it, they tend to do a really good quality job. They like, that's what they do. And that's,
It's
it's,
their bread and butter. right?
it is, yeah, it's, so,
And they know you guys talk.
yeah, exactly. And so, George and I, we've kind of built in this plan that about every 2 years we do a project. And by that way, we have a decent amount of funding to do the project. And so, I mean, ultimate goal would be that we would have about $1.5 million every 2 years to do projects. We've got that dollars in the budget to do that, but we're still paying off some of the other projects that we've done. So we're having to, so some of the money's going to pay the debt and some of the money's going to new projects. But like next year, we'll have about 800,000. And we think we can do probably 4 roads, 5 roads with that. When I say that, it seems like that's a lot of money to do 5 roads, but
Right.
that's what it is. I think the last time we talked, George and I said that we got 52 miles of roadway. We think that we want to pave in a 25-year period. We want to pave it all.
Right.
And so you're roughly,
Right.
you're thinking
Do the
2
math.
miles
Yeah.
per year.
Right.
In the last 10 years since I've been here, we've done just over 27 miles. So we're a little bit
Halfway
ahead of
home.
what our rate was. And
Yeah, but you were coming off of, they were so far behind.
yeah, we were pretty far behind. And we want to get it into a cycle. I could go out and I could suggest us doing a big borrowing and, fix everything in town and then just pay off the debt with what we have. But you really want to get into a cycle so that it's kind of consistent and you're not having these real high flips
Yeah.
and then drop off.
Right.
So I would like to get it so we're roughly the same.
And I'm thinking you should budget signs to put out on Westchester Pike. This is PennDOT, not Newtown, in terms of the traffic.
You think so?
I think we should have that.
Well, if I could keep people from
I'm sure
driving
you're getting-
over
yeah.
and running over our electronic signs, it would be helpful. So, we just had
Well, they
somebody,
just gotta get around the traffic jam.
well, he did more than just get around the traffic jam. He took out our traffic sign that was saying this was a PennDOT project. Please know that.
Really, just ran over the thing.
Huh?
He just ran over it?
Oh, he
Leveled it.
obliterated it. Yeah. So, and he was obviously traveling too fast.
He had someplace to go, huh?
Yeah, well, he he must have had someplace to go
Well,
that included taking out the sign.
As I've heard Chief Lund say, well, he must be important.
Right, there you go.
All right, enough of jokes. Any other comments from the board? I see no public audience. There are no comments from the public. We are.
Wait, wait,
Oh, wait,
wait.
wait.
I just wanted to ask, Stephen, when he's projecting the DCD and audited financials being completed.
I have actually no projection at this time. I'm hoping within 2 months. But I don't have like a precise projection at this time.
So for which one?
Yes, both,
Both?
yes.
Okay.
Any other comments? Good, we are adjourned 8:50.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thanks, Lisa.
See you
Enjoy,
guys.
enjoy the beach.
Thank you.
Good seeing you guys.
Yeah.